Around 1500 BCE, the ancient Punjab was a region in transition. Mobile tribal societies were beginning to settle the river valleys, bringing with them a new kind of warfare defined by horse-drawn chariots and heavy bronze weaponry. These verses from the Rigveda preserve the technical details of these early clashes. Beyond the religious hymns, this text functions as an archive of tribal maneuvers and tactical shifts. King Sudas of the Bharata tribe was the primary driver of this instability. He led a series of aggressive campaigns to seize control of trade routes and fertile pasture land along the riverbanks. The conflict reached a breaking point when Sudas broke a long-standing political alliance. He abruptly dismissed his chief priest and advisor, Vishwamitra, replacing him with a rival sage named Vashishta. This political rupture dissolved the local tribal hierarchy. By alienating his top strategist, Sudas invited an existential threat from every neighbor he had previously displaced. Vishwamitra retaliated by brokering an unprecedented alliance. He convinced 10 rival tribes, including the powerful Puru and Yadu clans, to coordinate their forces for a single simultaneous strike against the Bharatas. This visualization shows the disparity Sudas now faced. The coalition brought together an estimated 60,000 warriors. To meet them, the Bharata tribe could only muster a small fraction of that strength. This combined force began a systematic march toward Bharata territory. Their goal was to collapse Sudas's kingdom and reclaim the trade routes he had seized. Sudas could not survive a direct head-on collision with a force this size. His only hope for survival lay in exploiting the terrain. The armies eventually met on the banks of the Purushni, the river we now call the Ravi. It was a fierce waterway, known for sudden shifts in volume and violent currents. Sudas was trapped, pinned against the water by the coalition's semicircle. Upstream, they built a timber dam to divert the Purushni, intending to dry the riverbed for a flanking maneuver, or release a flood to wash the Bharatas into the current. This was a sophisticated application of environmental engineering. The 10 kings expected the river to do the work their infantry couldn't, breaking Sudas's lines without a single sword being drawn. But the coalition's engineering couldn't withstand the pressure of the river. The dam broke, but the water didn't follow the planned channels. It surged back toward the coalition's own staging grounds. Thousands of warriors, chariots, and supply tents were instantly pulled into the mud. The very weapon designed to destroy Sudas had instead crippled the alliance's front lines. This historical account of the Dasharajna Yuddha describes Sudas's reaction. Instead of retreating from the rising water, he recognized the enemy's confusion and launched a direct counter-assault into their disorganized ranks. The Bharata warriors cut through the coalition forces while they were still struggling to escape the floodwaters and the deep silt of the riverbank. By maintaining his position and timing his strike to the collapse of the enemy's own trap, Sudas turned a certain defeat into a decisive victory. The coalition was finished, the 10-king alliance shattered, leaving King Sudas as the primary power in the Punjab. Sudas followed his military victory by absorbing the survivors of the defeated Puru tribe, creating a combined force with far greater resources. This merger birthed the Kuru kingdom, a centralized polity that would later serve as the setting for the legendary Mahabharata. The Battle of 10 Kings remains one of the earliest recorded examples of how tactical discipline and environmental awareness can override sheer numerical superiority. It stands as the nucleus of the political history of the northern subcontinent.